Sorry, I'm still slowly waking up. Even after working early in the morning. But anyways, what's up, everybody? It's your favorite skill as you golden sooner, and welcome to today's video. So, I want to talk about something that I recently saw kind of some discourse going on online about. And it was, someone asked, can I still be considered a gamer if nothing new is, like, exciting me as much? Like, because he talked about, person talked about, they're like 2022, 2021, or whatever like that. I was buying, like, a new game, like 2 or 3 new games every month because there was just so much cool stuff coming out. And this year I've bought maybe 1 or 2 games. Am I still considered a mainstream average line gamer? And somebody asked the question, like, well, how big is your backlog? He's like, well, this is my backlog and I'm working on it. And he had a backlog of, like, I think he said like 70 or 80 games, something like that. Like, I wouldn't say small, but like as someone who's dumb like me who has 1,000 games, it was a decent size. And then, like, there were so many people like, well, you don't like modern stuff, you don't like any new stuff, you can't be considered a gamer still, you have to hand in your gamer card. No. I don't like, gaming is such a broad thing that you could literally be one of these people who are like, I've made it my goal this year. Like, I have a buddy who has made it his goal this year to play through all of the NES games he owns. He owns, like, I think he said like 110 NES games, and he's making it his goal to play through all of them this year. That's what he did. He every once in a while would play like Call of Duty or GTA or some like modern game with us, but a lot of the times he was playing his NES. Like, we'd go over to his place and just kind of hang out, and you'd be playing his NES because he's like, I got all these games for my NES, I want to play through them all. So he's playing through them all, and he's like, even if it takes me 2 years to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to play through these old games. That still considers you a gamer. And this whole discourse of, like, if you weren't playing anything modern, then you can't be considered a gamer is so dumb. Like, and even there's statistics to show that modern gaming is not dying, but it isn't where it used to be, if that makes any lick of sense at all. Basically, like, they found out that, like, games that kind of had online or kind of like showed stats of who's playing it or whatever, I think they found out like 60 to 70% of the games that were being played at one point this year were 6 years or older. They're like Destiny, Fortnite, GTA, like some Halos, like Call of Duty. They're like even like a lot of older single player games like Persona, things like that. Like, they were all games that were like 6 years or older that people were finally playing or were still playing, because modern gaming isn't all that great. Like, either the game doesn't review very well, or it's like the game is so buggy you gotta wait like 5 to 6 months before it actually is playable. But well, by then you move on. And like, even now too, like, I made a list of like, usually at the end of the year I'll do like a top 10 list of my top 10 favorite games. I'm gonna have to actually look it up to see how many games came out this year that I actually played. I can't even think of 10 off the top of my head that I've played or that are even excited me in any way to play. Like, this last month has been a few ones. Like, there's a new Sword Art Online that came out. There was Mario Party. And, like, those are 2. There's 2. I can't remember what the other one I got. There was another one I got, like, the month before. But I can't remember it. But, like, even, like, the new Zelda game, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, haven't gotten that. And, like, even right now, I'll get it eventually, but I just have, like, no motivation to get it. Dragon Age came out, and I've been enjoying my time with Dragon Age Inquisition. I've been playing the first one. So I'm currently playing through the other Dragon Ages, so I have no real need or desire to get to that one right away. A game I really wanted, Assassin's Creed Shadows, got moved up to next year, which honestly is okay because I haven't actually, I will be fully honest with you, I haven't played Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, or Mirage yet. I have them all, just haven't played any of them yet. And like the last one I actually played but never really finished was Syndicate. I have Syndicate on the PC, I can play that. Like, I have all the Assassin's Creeds, I've just played 2, 3, I've played 1, 2, 3, Brotherhood, and Revelations. Those are the only ones I played and finished. Like, Avowed is coming out, but it's going to be on Game Pass, so I can get that one day one. And, like new Call of Duty, like Black Ops 6 came out, but it was on Game Pass, so that's the only reason I got it. Same with the old Modern Warfare 3, like 2023's Modern Warfare 3. It came on Game Pass, the only reason I have it. I think the biggest thing is, like, a lot of these games, people just aren't finding enjoyment in them as much as they used to, and I'm gonna be making like some videos on like older games. Like, the one I'm working on one right now for Skyrim, as to why like Skyrim has been out for like 13 or 14 years now, and it's still like one of the top played games in the world. And it's like, well, here's why. Like, there's so many things that, like, it's hard because we're such divided now as gamers. Like, back in the day of, like, you know, the N64, like, if you were a gamer, you had Mario Bros, or, like, Mario 64 or Legend of Zelda, and you were talking about that constantly. You were sitting there being like, the game isn't complex enough, or it's not this, it's not that, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have, like, back in the day, it didn't care. Like, we logged on our PS2s or turned on our Xboxes and we played the games, and we were like, the game looks amazing, it's awesome. Nowadays, you got people who are like, I went to play a game and it maxed out at 40 FPS. I want a refund. I'm never touching this thing again. Meanwhile, at the Game Awards, that game wins Game of the Year or something like that, and everyone's pissed off because it's like, the game doesn't even run at 60. It's like, who cares? You know what? I'm gonna double check something. I need to double check something. I thought I read somewhere. Our own eyeballs don't even function at a steady 60 FPS. People complain about video games nowadays not working at a steady FPS, and I had to look this up. Most experts agree that the human eye can see between 30 to 60 FPS, which literally means, like, someone like me who has glasses, my eyeballs don't even see at 60 FPS. So then why the frick am I going to complain about a game not running at 60 FPS? I got way off topic with this, I know, but I just needed to get that off my head. Like, a lot of people think that just because they're playing older games, because they're playing retro games, because they're playing games that aren't modern or haven't come out in the last 4 months, that they aren't considered gamers anymore, or they're enjoying retro games. If you enjoy a retro game, that means you have a level of happiness that a lot of gamers just don't have anymore. That's basically what that means, is you're able to load up a game from the 360, from the Xbox One, from the PS1, the PS2, from the N64, the SNES, the Game Boy Color. You're able to load up a game from there and enjoy it for hours. Like, I just realized I have my Game Boy Color sitting right here. There's nothing in it at the moment, but I have my Game Boy Color sitting right here. It still works. It still plays. I think Mario Tennis for it, and I have, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! But, like, even, I'll be honest right now, usually, like, at night when I kind of, like, lay down in bed, I'll kind of, like, play a game, whatever. I have the game console I have sitting beside my bed is my DS, my 2DS, and on it I have been playing, what was it? It was what did I play last night? Sorry, I had a blank moment there. I was playing Link to the Past, the SNES Link to the Past, on my DS. That has been my nighttime game. Or I've been playing one called Sword of Mana, which is like a remake of Final Fantasy Tactics for the Game Boy Advance. Like, I'm playing old handheld games from, like, 2003. Camera, why aren't you? I'm sitting here talking about frames as my camera just decided to unfocus itself for some reason. But, like, I'm sitting there playing an older game on my DS and I'm loving it, which is weird. Like, I have, like, my Switch here, and many people are like, oh, but you can, like, stream the cloud and stuff like that. Yeah, but I don't want that. Like, maybe there's some people that just don't want it. They want that break. Like, I have all my retro consoles in the living room, and I sit in the living room and play a retro console. I'm not going to move my Xbox, my PS5 or something like that into the living room just to play it, because I'm like, I got retro games out there. I can play a lot of them. So if you play video games, and if you aren't really a fan of what's come out this year, that's perfectly fine. That is allowed, because maybe you're someone like me who has a massive backlog, and you're like, I can now work on my backlog because there's nothing coming out that I'm excited for or excites me right now, so I can now take the time to focus on my backlog. And that's brilliant. I love when people do that. I love when, you know, you're allowed to just focus on your backlog. You're allowed to sit there and be like, you know what, nothing's coming out, or like a game that I want doesn't come out for like a few months yet, so I'm going to take this time to work on a game or finish up some backlogs and things like that. Like, I remember last year, from April to October, I did not play a game that came out in 2023. As many of you guys probably know, because I've talked to those before, I played through the entire Xenoblade Chronicles series. The last game was 3, which came out in 2022. Like, I didn't play any of the new Xenoblade games that came out, or any new video game within that span that came out that year. Like, I didn't play a whole lot. I still managed to make a top 10 list, though. I do have that video up on the channel, I do believe. I did stream it, made that top 10 list. I think the game of the year, I actually gave it to Fractured Redeemed, or Future Redeemed, because that did come out in 2023. But, like, otherwise it was like Sword Art Online Last Recollection, which came out at the end of 2022. Like, it was just, and even like, yeah, like the SAO games, like I've finished 2 of them this year. Like, it's not many newer games coming out that like maybe excite you, and if they don't, that's perfectly fine. That's allowed. You're allowed to like older games and still be considered a gamer. It is video game. A gamer is such a broad term, and is such a, like, you can play anything you want. You can play any game. You could be an only Nintendo gamer, an only Sony gamer, an only Xbox gamer. You do not have to be this, I need to be playing what's new, what's popular, what's hip in this moment in time in order to be considered a gamer. That's not what being a gamer is. And if someone tells you that, they're a fake. They're just a gamer imposter. Like a real gamer, I'm gonna be honest with you, a real gamer will be like, yo, what are you playing? And you can be like, oh, I'm playing just gonna throw a game I've been playing in my free time, Jak 2 on the PS2. I've never played it before, so I'm playing through it my first time. And the gamer will be like, dude, that's sick. How you liking it? And you can be like, oh, I mean, it's the controls are a little weird, a little wonky. And they'll be like, well, yeah, the game's from like 2002, 2003. And you'll be like, yeah, no, that makes sense. And the gamer will just be like, dude, that's freaking awesome. You could talk about the game from 2003, and the gamer and a real gamer will be like, dude, that's so cool. I'm so happy that you're like enjoying the game. I love that you love it. These are great stories. I do actually recommend you finish the series, because the series is actually pretty good, and this continues to be on that level of great, right? Or you get the gamers like, you can play the game, like, let's take Jak. Like, you know what, you can play Jak 2. Jak 2 is pretty good. 3 is actually pretty decent too, but there's kind of like a spin-off or like a sequel thing called Jak the Lost Frontier. You can skip that one. It is a continuation of the story, but doesn't play good at all. It actually is real bad control-wise. But you can, if you still want to enjoy the story, then go for it, play it. But like, if you're one of these people and it's like, oh, so what do you play? Jak 2 on the PS2. Why the frick are you playing such an old game? What the hell is wrong with you? That's not a real gamer. The real gamer is the one who's like, dude, that's sick that you're going back and playing retro games. The real gamer is the one who's browsing websites like, for instance, My Abandonware, which has retro games on it that you can download and play to relive like old memories of your childhood. The real gamer is the one who's been playing World of Warcraft from day one and is still playing it to this day. The real gamer is the one who's clocked 3,000 hours on a Need for Speed game just because they want to try to do literally everything in the game and try to unlock and own everything in the game. Like, I know someone who literally went through, I can't remember what Need for Speed was. I think it was actually Need for Speed Payback. They literally went through 100% of the game, but then continued to play it because they wanted to buy every single vehicle in the game. They wanted to own every car in the game. Like, they had like, I think it was like 120 to 200 hours on Need for Speed Payback, and the game's only like 20 to 25 hours long to beat. But they wanted to do things. Like, that's what a gamer is. A gamer is someone who just was like, I'm going to challenge myself to do all these things. They're not going to make fun of you for doing this old crap. Like, if you want to play an old game, play an old game. That's pretty much it. But anyways, that's going to be it for me in this. I rambled on for 13 minutes. I apologize for that. But I wanted to talk because it's something I saw in a conversation I even got involved in. Was like, am I considered a real gamer because I play older games? Yeah, you are. Like, a gamer is someone who has a backlog and is never going to finish it, but then they have little moments like now where it's like, hey, the next, like, for instance, I'll be blunt, the new next game that I'm looking forward to and excited about is Avowed, which comes out in like late February. And is on Game Pass, so I can, I have it pre-installed. I just gotta wait for it to actually open up. But like, so that gives me basically the last week of November, December, and January. That gives me like 3 months to play some older games and finish my backlog, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm playing through, like I said, Jak 2. I'm playing through that. I'm playing through Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, which is a game that came out in January, which I'm finally getting around to. I'm playing through some Wizard 101 because they came out with a new update. Like, I'm playing old games. I go to play test to play for a game that's just getting an upscale. Adventure Quest Infinity. Like, it's an old Flash game that's just getting upscaled. Like, and I'm excited for that. Like, play what you want to play. Enjoy what you want to love. We're all gamers. We're all here to have fun. We're all here to enjoy experiences. And that's what video games are meant to be. And I'm just going to be blunt with you on it and say it's something dumb, but people have essentially been trying to bring politics into gaming. Like, their own gaming style politics of like, oh, if you play on this console, you're stupid. If you do this, you're stupid. And it's like, no, you're not. You're not. You're a gamer. You're allowed to be a gamer. It's what makes gaming awesome. Enjoy your games, everybody. Enjoy playing them. Enjoy retro, modern, indie, AAA, whatever you play. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. I love y'all. I'll see you all in the next one. It's been golden. Peace out.